responses will be such that we really get to the robust understanding of what is going on there. Social workers, brain drain, to some extent, PS has mentioned the importance of coming up with very specific interventions to make sure that we don't continue to lose our social workers. So there has to be a targeted proposal for probably incentives, allowances that can stop that brain drain. The difficulty about this is there is an international shortage of social workers. We in the developing world, specifically we in Zimbabwe, are competing with countries that offer very lucrative remuneration for social workers, countries that have more resources than we do. So we almost become training ground for the social workers. Similar to what happens in other professions, including the health profession, for example. So we need, we have to say that we need to come up with very specific interventions that we can present to the Public Service Commission as well as to Treasury in order for us to avoid this brain drain. But the larger intervention that is needed relates to the growth of our economy, which is really a collective responsibility for Zimbabwe for Zimbabweans as government, as social partners in the labor movement, as well as those in industry or among employers. These are things that we have to do together. The government effort is clear. NDS1, the stabilization programs that government has taken, but we need Zimbabwe to work together in order to improve the macroeconomic situation in the country. This will then translate to better remuneration for everyone, including those in the public sector. So, for social workers, let's come up with a very specific program. But for the country as well, we need to improve our macroeconomic situation, which is indeed a national responsibility. There was an emotional intervention related to PVOs. It's almost as if what we are doing here in Zimbabwe is unique to Zimbabwe in terms of trying to regulate the manner in which PVOs operate, and also in order to bring coordination in that sector. Let me quickly say that as a government and as a ministry, we typically don't have any problems in our relationship with PVOs and CSOs, especially where we clearly know what mandate they have declared. So we don't have any problems. We work very well with international as well as local PVOs and NGOs. What government is seeking to do is twofold as far as the PVO bill is concerned. Firstly, to abide by international requirements for making sure that we control things like money laundering, financing of terrorism, and the like. So we have to have a tight protocol for that. The second aspect relates to better understanding of where resources are deployed, so that there can be coordination of the national development agenda. We also, of necessity, have to understand that any resource that goes towards a PVO or an NGO is public resource. And all countries in the world understand that those resources are public resources, and therefore there has to be accountability around those resources. It's not unique to Zimbabwe. Our partners in the international community know that the same protocols that we are establishing and tightening here are applicable almost universally across the world. So this is not anything that is unique to Zimbabwe. It is foolhardy to think that beyond the authority of government in a jurisdiction such as Zimbabwe, there can be sub-authorities that can do whatever they want. Otherwise, you don't have a state which is necessary for the protection of the rights of its citizens. The reason why we have national authorities is in order to have order and to protect the rights of citizens. So actors at the sub-national level cannot do whatever they want, much as even the government itself cannot do whatever it wants. So we want clarity of the purpose and agendas of the PVOs, and as long as we have that clarity, there is no problem in terms of the controls and measures that are put in place. Can we get enough resources for social protection and especially for issues related to child welfare and child protection? My understanding from the political economics that I understand is that everywhere in the world we have the dilemma of limited resources, and there is no nation that can say it can ever have enough to cover all the issues and problems we face. Zimbabwe has gone through almost 2 decades of economic turmoil for various reasons, including sanctions, but also including some of the problems we had previously. We are in a new dispensation that is saying we now need to change that. We need to focus on economic development, but do it in an inclusive manner. So we have actually seen quite some improvement in terms of the allocations for social protection. Good example, the BEAM program, just a few years ago, it was at about 400,000. It moved to over 500,000. And now we are targeting 1.5 million children. We have also increased the coverage beyond tuition to uniforms, to exam fees, to requirements in terms of stationery and the like. We have also seen the introduction of a provision for sanitary work for the girl child in both primary as well as secondary education. We have seen quite some impressive interventions, especially where we have had disasters, cyclones, even the pandemic that has been mentioned. And I am sure the PS has responded very effectively in Parliament to some of the allegations of misuse of funds related to the social protection programs that were pushed during the height of the pandemic. So we have seen that commitment on the part of government. Are those resources enough? Not at all. Our fiscal space remains constrained. This is why I have said, in Zimbabwe, we have a collective responsibility to grow this cake. And once this cake has grown, we have to make sure that it's inclusively being distributed to make sure that the welfare of every Zimbabwean is improving as those resources have become available. Collaboration is very important. Yes, indeed, it is. And there is clear collaboration. I have participated in field visits with some of our PVO partners, Dame Church Aid, for example, whom we should actually go ahead and give MOD. Impressive work around resilience, employment creation, addressing some of the problems that we are seeing now, so that we can reduce social welfare roles. And once we have reduced social welfare roles, it means the resources that are available for social protection target the most vulnerable, and we can do better in that regard. So collaboration is very important. Support from international partners very important. But we can't run away from the fact that the primary responsibility lies with the government of Zimbabwe, and everyone else comes in to complement what we are doing. So I think that's as far as I can go. The issue of the 15% threshold from the Abuja declaration, I think Treasury can help us with that. I thank you for that.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Any of the panelists to compliment, or there is one outstanding issue, Honorable Minister, mental health issues?
Oh.
I think that's all.
Sorry.
Otherwise, we have done justice to most of the questions.
Let me address that one. From a drug abuse or substance abuse perspective, the issue of mental health is one that government is very seized with. Last year, His Excellency set up an interministerial committee on this issue, and our Ministry of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare was given leadership of interministerial task force. There are a number of things that we are doing in terms of prevention, in terms of treatment and rehabilitation, in terms of providing the youths with programs that then divert them from the negative coping mechanisms, such as the use of drugs. 5 pillars that we are working on, including even just information, the dissemination of information on the deleterious effects of using drugs among especially the youth. Within the ministry, a unit has been set up, funded by Treasury for purposes of coordinating, and we are working with probably 6, 7 other ministries and agencies to deal with this issue. It's an issue that I think we had delayed in dealing with, but fortunately government is working on that. There are other issues, general issues of mental health, which go to even wellness at work and other things like that, which again we need to do more and more in order to resolve. Pandemics, by their very nature, cause issues of stress, loss of income associated again with different crises. Right now we are seeing trends that have resulted from the conflict in Ukraine, which are affecting economies across the globe, and people are going to lose work. Governments have to find ways in which to intervene in order to ensure that there's always wellness and reduction in mental health problems associated with that. But with regard to the issue of drug and substance abuse, we have specific interventions that we are undertaking under the interministerial task force for that purpose. I think Treasury can also deal with the issue of the 15% threshold on